And much to the devil and the enemy's horror, still kicking. Let's dive into world news and just run through a few of these quickly. There's so much I want to share with you guys. The Lord's been imparting and downloading and dropping so many things into my spirit and sending me on so many different tangents of things He once shared with you, the channel family. And I'm going to get to all of them over the next few days, but it's exciting. There's been so much. And it's nothing that you're hearing everywhere else. It's just encouragement and hope and strength and meat from the Word of God, and that the Lord wants you to see and hear and think about as we grow closer to Him every day. But I digress once again. World news. Let's start by Israel. Thousands of furious Israelis are demanding an end to Netanyahu's war in Gaza. They demanded that Netanyahu end the war in Gaza ahead of the leader's controversial upcoming operation to claim Gaza City. Yes, he is wanting to end the war, but he's dealing with terrorists and he's trying to get it done in every way possible. So once again, this chaos in Israeli society is not helping the effort to actually get the war done. Hamas is leading Egypt into war with Israel. A tense controversy is brewing between Hamas and Egypt over the Rafah crossing. The Rafah crossing near the border between Egypt and Gaza that nobody moans about, nobody screams about, nobody asks why Egypt's not doing more. None of that. Why Egypt's keeping them holed up. Nobody talks about that. But again, it's currently controlled by Egypt, but Israel has authority over the Palestinian side. Hamas complains that Egypt is not opening access to the crossing sufficiently to get enough humanitarian aid. Now, we've shown you pictures, videos, and on Telegram we show you all the proof there is tons of aid that the UN is not distributing, so that they can blame Israel for not getting aid to them. Egypt is concerned that widening access will put it in conflict with Israel, with which it has had a peace treaty since 1979. So there's that. And Exodus is also not something that they want. They have a huge, PTSD about Exodus in the Bible, and they don't want a repeat of people flooding in and out and chaos in their country. In addition, Hamas demands that Egypt support the terror group, alleging that Israel is seeking to expel it from Gaza. Yes, Israel is seeking to expel it from Gaza, and if that doesn't work, Israel is seeking to annihilate and wipe out the terrorist organization. They know this full well. But the time for making demands, long past. Got no leg to stand on, literally, and most of your tunnels are flat. Free Gaza from Hamas. Prime Minister Netanyahu defends his decision to expand the Gaza war and blasts the media for spreading malignant lies. Only ones being deliberately starved in Gaza are our hostages, says Netanyahu, and he showed the latest pictures that prove exactly that. Welcoming the chance to puncture the lies and tell the truth, the Prime Minister pointed out that Hamas continues to subjugate Gazans, saying the terror group steals their food, shoots them when they're trying to move to safe zones, and added that many Gazans are now fighting back. They're begging the world, free us, and free Gaza from Hamas. The best and most speedy way to end the war, he continued, is for the IDF to dismantle the 2 remaining Hamas strongholds in Gaza City and the central camps. That is why the world is in uproar about it. The Arab countries are in uproar about it. Everybody's in uproar because Hamas is making them scream and shout about it because they know it means their end. Then on top of all the controversy, IDF killed Al Jazeera journalist who also served as a commander of a Hamas terror cell. And they gave all the proof of that. But the world's upset that they're killing journalists. When you're a journalist and you pick up weapons and start shooting at the people you're reporting on, you're no longer a journalist. You're a two-faced person who's actually a terrorist. The IDF previously found and published documents, including rosters of Hamas militants, indicating that Anas al-Sharif served as the head of a terrorist cell in the Jabalaya battalion and was responsible for rocket attacks against Israeli civilians and Israeli troops. The documents previously disclosed, along with others found in the strip, confirmed his membership in Hamas military wing. In a statement, the IDF said the evidence once again confirms his involvement in terrorist activities from which the Al Jazeera network has attempted to disassociate itself from. But they want to scream that Israel's killing journalists, killing doctors. But those journalists and those doctors are terrorists at the same time. They're the same ones holding the hostages. It's absolute insanity how together the world is standing against Israel. And yet, I'm not shocked, I'm not surprised, I'm not shaking my head wondering how is this possible, because I read my Bible. And it says God will enter into judgment with all nations in the valley of Jehoshaphat. All. A-L-L. All encompassing everyone, the entire freaking lot. God will enter into judgment with. Regarding Israel, for starters. And we're seeing all those nations all come together. A few stragglers, but they'll get there. And it's biblical for the times we're living in. And then on that line, the next headline says, we will take half the world down with us. India outraged by Pak army chief's nuke threats made on US soil. Pakistan's army chief General Asim Munir has been on a tour of the United States for several days. It included attendance at a farewell function for the chief of the US Central Command, General Mikhail Kurilla. The trip is said to be General Munir's second visit in less than 2 months. While in Tampa, where CENTCOM's HQ is located, General Munir spoke at a private event for the Pakistani diaspora in America. His words set off outrage and condemnation from India on Monday, including fresh nuclear saber rattling. We are a nuclear power. If we go down, we'll take half the world with us, Munir stated. Why take the whole world with you? Why not just your enemy that you were aiming at? Why must you go and involve all of the nations around you, half the world? Well, Fallout's going to do that anyway, but what heightened the anger in New Delhi is that this first time a top Pakistani official has issued a nuclear threat while on US soil, and the US is supposedly one of their allies. Referring to India's decision to suspend the Indus Water Treaty after the deadly Pahalgam terror attack last April, he claimed it could lead to famine for 250 million people. Then he said, let them build a dam, we will hit it with 10 missiles. He was quoted as adding, we have no shortage of missiles. Praise be to God. So outright threats to India and outright nuclear saber rattling while on American soil, and America is friends with India. So I understand the frustration and the anger from India's side on this. But what this is showing you is that all the nations are at that tipping point where they are openly, regardless of where they are, threatening each other with nuclear annihilation and missile strikes. It is the norm right now. And that is not normal. That shows you how late the hour is and how short the timing is for those who are not yet right with Christ. We could be leaving at any moment. So pray for our fellow brothers and sisters in those two countries specifically. And a lot of them have it really hard in those countries, practicing their faith. And pray for those who still need to come to saving grace knowledge of Jesus Christ, and for more evangelists and workers to enter the field. Then doctors are apparently struggling to keep up with euthanasia demands in Canada. MAID is doing so well that they can't keep up with the amount of people that they want to euthanize. The enemy's obsession with death of mankind is heightened at the moment, and he's trying everything he can to get rid of as many of us as he can, as quickly as he can. It's actually quite ridiculous, and we're seeing this uptick take place all around us, and way too few voices speaking out and drawing light to what's actually going on, and people just accepting it as the norm. Then Madonna. I can't believe I'm talking about Madonna. Madonna appeals to Pope Leo to visit Gaza and help save children from the crisis. Pop icon Madonna made a direct and emotional appeal to Pope Leo, urging him to travel to Gaza and bring attention and aid to children suffering amid the ongoing humanitarian crisis. In a heartfelt social media post, the superstar emphasized the urgency of the situation, calling for immediate action before it's too late. Alongside her letter, she clarified, "I'm not assigning blame, pointing fingers, or taking sides. Everyone is in pain, including the mothers of the hostages. I pray for their release as well." She explained her focus was solely on preventing children from dying of starvation, and adding, "I'm simply trying to do what I can." Sounds amazing, right? It's actually hilarious where I'm sitting looking at this article. It's ridiculous. Number one, Madonna has done nothing but blaspheme and mock Christianity, faith, and the Catholic Church specifically throughout her career. Openly, in your face mockery, blatantly. Now she wants to appeal to the Pope. Interesting, don't you think? Which tells you it's a publicity stunt. If she feels so strongly about it, why doesn't she take her millions and millions and millions and get on her little yacht or plane? She can ask Greta how to do it. Lots of information there. And head to Israel and go and deal with the kids herself. Because it's not about that. She wants to be seen by her fans and the public as a benevolent force urging action. Please do something, while she goes off to get her nails done. She doesn't really care about anybody in the crisis or what's really going on or the truth. But she's trying to amplify herself and be seen. That's what's truly going on there. Churches attacked and Christians jailed as Sudan's civil war rages on. Indiscriminate attacks on Christian churches has become a feature of their bloody civil war raging for over 2 years. The problem is over 165 churches have closed, severely limiting activities, and the two forces are the Sudanese Armed Forces, SAF, and the Rapid Support Forces, RSF, and they've been engaged in a bitter and bloody civil war for the last 2 years. The refugee status is over 12 million people displaced in this conflict to date. And both sides of the conflict are attacking churches. So it's not that this side is pro-church and this side's anti-church. They're both deciding churches and Christianity are good fallout in the ongoing battle. So please pray for these Christians, our fellow brothers and sisters that are suffering and struggling in the Sudanese civil war at the moment. And again, one more example of wars raging all over the world, and gang warfare and chaos and states of emergency declared and drugs. It is nighttime for mankind, and still many people don't want to notice, don't want to make decisions about their eternal destination. Portland sees the largest faith-based gathering in decades as thousands attend revival meeting. A major Christian revival event in Portland, Oregon, drew one of the city's largest faith-based gatherings in decades. The church reported 3,200 people came forward during the altar call, and volunteers distributed Bibles and connected new believers with local churches. The event was one of the most significant gatherings Portland has seen in decades. Now, what I love about this regardless of any feelings or thoughts about who was running it and what was happening. It's a faith-based event, revival. 3,200 people came forward for the altar call. The big thing I love, they gave them Bibles and they connected new believers with local churches. That is so important. Give them the tools they need that they can grow, and connect them with someone willing to walk with them and disciple them and guide them. It's a new baby believer. And a lot of times you see an evangelist goes into a place or a country or an area and he preaches the gospel fiery, and we get the message out there. We make an altar call. Hundreds or thousands come forward, give their hearts to the Lord. We write down the numbers because we feel so great. And yeah, it's fantastic. And we leave, and that's the end of it. No one follows up. No one disciples. No one gives them a Bible. No one makes sure that their questions are answered. No one's with them. And then chaos. We need to look after those who have come to Christ. We need to guide them. We need to be with them. We need to teach them. We need to disciple them. The Lord tells us to go and make disciples of all nations. Not chalk up the numbers and move along. We've got records to keep. No. Disciple them. More can be achieved that way. Trump's top US intelligence chief vows to share the truth on UFOs. So you can pretty much forget about getting the truth on UFOs until they actually do the big reveal. The US intelligence chief vowed to share the truth on UFOs after saying she believes in aliens and that extraterrestrials are real. Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence in Donald Trump's administration, hinted she has a lot of classified information on aliens, but is forced to remain tight-lipped due to her job. Speaking with POD Force One podcast host Miranda Devine, Gabbard was asked if there could be aliens. She replied, "I have my own views and opinions. In this role, I have to be careful what I share." Devine then asked if UFOs and aliens are real, to which she replied, yes. She said that right now she has nothing to share with the public about aliens and UFOs today, but she vowed to reveal the truth when the time comes. What time? Rapture time, baby. Harpazo time. Time that they need an excuse for. Where did all these people suddenly disappear to? Where did they go? Behold the mothership coming to help mankind. When the time is right, then they will tell you. But they've just told you straight up, yes, they are real. Yes, everything does exist. They're admitting these Nephilim are there and waiting in the background. The problem for me is Epstein didn't kill himself. They admitted to having the list. They admitted the missing camera footage. They admitted all these things. And then suddenly, it's all rubbish. And we mustn't worry about it. After they said they were definitely going to reveal the truth. And now that same administration is saying, no, we're definitely going to reveal the truth on aliens. Which, if I didn't think that they would because of the Great Deception, I would have said, oh, there goes that too. The UFOs didn't fly and abduct themselves. But they pretty much admitted it's all there waiting for the moment they do their big declaration. ICE to obtain AI technology capable of scanning people's eyes from several feet away. They are reportedly purchasing the technology. They issued a notice to purchase to scan people's eyes to locate and identify those who are in the country illegally. You can only do that if you can identify and know exactly who the legals are. So it's identification from a distance. The technology allows agents to capture someone's iris from 10 to 15 feet away using the camera on their iPhone with an app that matches the iris with the photo they already have. This is Chinese technology. The Chinese have got glasses, and as they look at you through the glasses, it brings you up with your credit score, everything, what's going on, where you're from, all the information. They're just tapping into that by the power of AI, which is going to be really important when it comes to the New World Order. Trump demands that the homeless duck. immediately move out of Washington to make the nation's capital more beautiful. He demanded that this happens right now. He reiterated Saturday's announcement. He set to hold a press conference in the White House on Monday, which would have been now yesterday, adding on Truth Social on Sunday, "I'm going to make our capital safer and more beautiful than it ever was before. The homeless have to move out immediately. We will give you places to stay, but far from the capital. The criminals, you don't have to move out. We're going to put you in jail where you belong." The president went on to say it's all going to happen very fast, just like the border. We went from millions pouring in to zero after a few months. This is going to be easier. Be prepared. No Mr. Nice Guy. We want our capital back. So, my thoughts. Great. Yeah, no, I see the absolutely, it would be nice to have your capital back. All over the world, including South Africa, the capitals are pretty much like that. They die from the CBD, the Central Business District, out, and they become a nest for criminals and drug users. And so the businesses exit and leave further and further and further afield away from it. That is just how these things happen due to the hopelessness, joblessness, and chaos in the world today. Now, if you can't come up with a viable plan to properly and humanely look after these people, help these drug users with coming clean and doing all these things and putting them somewhere where their lives can be improved, they can receive job skills, be put back into the market, help to fix what is an absolute disaster for them at this stage, then you're just moving the problem from one point to the next and you're not caring about the human collateral damage. That's the problem I have. Is there really a heart for the people, or for having a pretty looking capital that everyone can go, "Oh, that's so nice. Well done, Donald. You're the man." I care more about the people. Do something from the heart for the people. In time, you'll get your capital back to where you need it, but your focus should be those lives. Many of them veterans living on your streets. Over 7 billion people will witness the blood moon eclipse in September. So almost everybody. Interesting, right? The great total lunar eclipse coming in a few weeks, and the vast majority of people on the planet from Oceania to Brazil will enjoy it. The event will happen depending on your time zone during the evening between September the 7th and the 8th, and from partiality to total spectacle of the blood moon and back to partiality, it will take 3 hours, 29 minutes and 24 seconds. So quite a long one. Most of Asia, sliver of East Africa and Western Australia will get the full show. The rest of Africa, Australia and much of Europe and the east coast of Brazil will get at least part of totality and partiality. And this tells us that 60% of the world's population will be able to see the whole show. And up to 87% will get at least a part of the event, weather permitting. So depending. And it's a big one. And it's September. It's not our first blood moon, but it's the one that's right in front of us. The other interesting things happening in September is Rosh Hashanah, September 22, Yom Kippur, October 1, and Sukkot, October 6. Then we've got Shemini Atzeret and all those others, including Hanukkah. It's the fall feasts timetable right before the fall feasts. Blood moon that most of the world is going to see. Most of the world. 87%. That is interesting, don't you think? Signs in the heavens, drawing attention to the times that you're living in. And it's really important because so many people still don't believe that it's the end, that everything is at the door, that Jesus is coming back, that the tribulation, the worst time in the history of man that has never been seen before, will ever be seen again, is right here. And if that time wasn't shortened, no flesh would be saved. And yet they're still not worried. They're still not doing anything. And the problem is, and the picture I got in my mind this morning after praying is, imagine this person swimming in the ocean, middle of the ocean, and you can see this giant wake moving towards them. Big white water wake of this massive Leviathan creature heading straight towards them to devour them. And you trying to warn them because you, with all the knowledge, can see from above. You see the giant shadow. You see how enormous it is. You see the danger. You see the waters roiling, the teeth eyes. This thing is coming. And they are tiny, infinitesimal. They have nothing to stop this thing from coming. And you are shouting warnings. And they say, yeah, no, we see the white water, but that's just the wind. It's climate change. No, we see the roiling waves, but it's just the way the ocean moves. It's nature. I watch National Geographic. Nothing to worry about. It's so comfortable here. What are you fussing about? But we see what it is. And we see the speed with which it approaches. And still, they're not listening until sudden destruction shall come upon them, and they will not escape. We, however, will have escaped because he provides a way of escape. So there's that. My heart burned to reach as many of the lost as we can, while we can, by the power of the Holy Spirit and the work of God in people's lives, that we are obedient and available and saying, Hineni, here I am, use me. Let me be busy with your work until my final breath. And then, thank you to all of you who show me so much love, so much prayer, so much support, the emails, the messages, everything. I've read through all of them. It makes my heart full and makes me feel special. And I really appreciate your prayers while I'm not feeling well, and your support for this ministry in that. Because James 5:16, the prayers of the righteous availeth much. There's power in the prayers of his saints. God loves the prayers of his saints, and he hears the prayers of his saints, and he moves. And yeah, I'm pretty much 100% back up and at him again and ready to fight. I'm already busy booking my next evangelists preaching outreach coming up in early September now. We're busy fixing dates, lots of plans for the ministry. We're working on all sorts of angles and things that we can do to keep spreading the gospel and reaching more and more people every day in every way that we possibly can, and inspiring as many Christians as we can to get off their chairs and go and get involved in ministering to the lost and sharing the light of truth with the world that is in darkness. So again, thank you. You are loved and you are appreciated very much, and you are essential to this ministry. We might be in the field and we might be ministering, but we need that prayer cover. We need that care. We need that love. And it carries us the same way that they had to lift Moses' arms and hold it up so they could keep winning the battle. You guys help to lift our arms as we forge ahead in the field. So God bless you all. Shalom.